Teachers of Reddit, what are some positive trends you have noticed in today's youth? Art teacher here. My 6-year-old students are really good with encouraging statements. Absolutely unprompted by us. We were working with Clay, and the shyest girl, who had never spoken once, said, "Wow, Riley, you did a great job on your bunny. It looks beautiful." Or when a girl cried because hers broke, a student said, "Don't worry, Coco. You can repair it. It'll be okay." Just very kind things like that. You wouldn't believe a 6-year-old would have the selflessness to say. Collaborative learning through taking class notes on things like shared Google Docs. Students adding comments where they don't understand parts of a lecture, and other students will explain. They're more aware of the general goings-on in the world and have a strong sense of justice. Along with that, as others have mentioned in this thread, they're more accepting of differences. The bully-victim trope is less of a thing now, where I am, at least, and kids usually love and let live. The flip side of this is that a lot of kids are getting faulty information, and a lot of them carry fairly shocking, uninformed opinions because of what they have heard or read on the internet. Being kinder to animals. Jerks I grew up with used to hit strays with stones and sticks. I teach 2nd grade. They are much kinder, and they are much better readers than kids even 10 years ago. I remember back in grades 1 to 5, I always saw people thanking the janitor. My dad would always tell me how that never happened back in his day. As everyone else has said, kids' empathies are through the roof. They're more connected to each other. And while that can cause problems and bullying, a lot of which we can't see, e.g., Snapchat, it also means they genuinely know each other better. Something we've also focused on, which has changed from even 4 to 5 years ago, is their health and level of stress. While they still want to get into a good college at my school, they're starting to focus on finding the right school for them, which very rarely is an Ivy. I commend them a ton, because I still have that elitism bias, but I am working on it. Also, kids are more outspoken about their identity. The number of trans kids at my small school seems high, but is really the appropriate size for the grade level. According to average statistics, we're offering training next year to all of our seniors to lead discussions on race, bias, inequality, etc., because they demanded that we do so. I love that they're willing to advocate for themselves and what they need. It makes my job so much rewarding when I know we're providing what they need. As a university history professor, I've noticed that even first-year students are more willing to express countering opinions and views. There are far fewer who just regurgitate my lectures and instead offer counterpoints and disagreement, which is an amazing trend for academic debate. It wasn't until graduate work that I really felt comfortable disagreeing with an assigned reading or a professor, and the level of understanding needed to synthesize your own counter-argument is much higher than simple memorization. Kids are incredibly intelligent. Because of the internet they have now, they can learn about anything, whenever and quickly. They also learn more because parenting is improved, teaching is improved, and so they have so much more research on what they're doing that they become more efficient. The resumes I see from high school students are better than what I had graduating from college. I'd also second that they are much kinder. Some of the things I overhear flabbergast me with how different things are from when I was in high school 18 years ago. I do sex ed for 14 to 16-year-olds. They always ask how to satisfy the opposite sex and seem less selfish. I'd say they're better at forming their own opinions on issues and morals, which I would largely attribute to their access to the internet and thus getting to see and hear a wider variety of viewpoints. I remember when it used to be that, my dad likes Bush so I like Bush, kind of thing, but now I hear kids have actually individual viewpoints and intelligent conversations about world issues. Plus, I feel like they're more open and honest. It's not uncommon for kids to tell me how they're feeling or what's going on with them in their personal lives or what they think of what's going on with the class or me. Usually all of this without any prompting. It helps me adjust to what they need and feel and want, and also just helps us build that bond. When I was their age, 7th grade, I was a steel trap when it came to talking to teachers about what was going on with me. And pretty much all my peers were the same. They're more pragmatic about the choices they make, taking measures to reduce the amount of student debt they are going to accrue. They are also much more accepting of people of other cultures. Much less discrimination, it seems. I have noticed that my freshmen, for the most part, tend to be very open, I guess is the right word. They seem to readily share their thoughts, ideas, problems, etc. with each other. They put each other's fingerprints in their phones, readily share them, and don't really have anything to hide. They are also super honest and upfront with me. I don't know if this is truly going to turn out to be a positive thing in the long run, but their expectations of privacy are very different than mine. I think it is an offshoot of social media culture. As a health POV, students tend to be drinking a lot more water than when I was at school. Probably around 80% of kids tend to have water bottles, I've noticed now. More popular kids, stronger, standing up for the weaker, different. Not a teacher, but a security officer in a college. This is probably going to get lost, but I teach emotionally disturbed kids who can't attend mainstream high school because of their behavior. These are kids that treat the majority of the people they interact with like shit. They use slurs and swear and can just be all round horrible to each other. We have one kid who's full-on autistic, but the parents refuse to have him diagnosed, so he's with us, not in an autism unit. They don't say a word to him this year. They listen to him rant about chickens and rabbits and even ask him questions about it. It's so bizarre to see kids frothing at the mouth and calling me a fucking cunt and then gently redirecting the autistic kid away. They're so much more accepting of disabilities than my gen was. It's great. Kids today are much more open with their feelings. I hear, "I love you," so much more. Not between kids in relationships, but between friends. No matter the genders. It's an amazing and heartwarming thing to see, hear. It seems to me that students today are increasingly more aware, curious, and resourceful. Everything from climate change to science, from the arts to socio-political considerations. They question things more directly, and are adept at exploring and finding answers as they adroitly navigate the internet. When kids actually commit to something, they are extremely resourceful. I teach year 1. I've noticed that they care a lot about the environment, always wanting to recycle, stop driving cars because of the smoke. One kid even saw me drive into school and told me I wasn't caring about the environment and should ride a bike. They're also incredibly empathetic towards their friends, peers, animals. Doesn't matter. For 6-7-year-olds who are typically supposed to be self-absorbed, I think this is pretty cool. They're very accepting as well. There's a boy in the class next door with ASD. And occasionally when he has a meltdown, the kids from next door come to my class. After explaining why, all of my kids understand that his brain works differently, and at the moment, his brain is probably confused and doesn't know how to process his feelings. Quote, none of them make fun of him, call him bad or naughty, which I think definitely would have happened when I was a kid. Nerd, geek culture is more accepted. They are not only more open about their own mental health, they are vigilant about their friends as well. Twice I've had students come to me concerned about a peer. Once because a girl had started hurting herself, and once because a boy was showing hints of suicidal thoughts. Both students are currently doing much better. am drill instructor, fire department. I work for a career department, so the 18 to 19-year recruits I get aren't customers providing revenue by paying to be there. They are paid to be there and can be fired. It's a lot like the military. Our academy was built around parascience doctrine by a couple former Marine dis. A decade ago, this was used to take advantage of them badly. These days, the wet behind the ears new high school grads are so incredibly, remarkably intelligent. Gone are the days where a recruit will blindly accept information. Now, I have yet to have a recruit contradict a direct order. But in the presentation of information, they will ask pertinent questions that absolutely keep us instructors accountable. And if I don't know the answer, oftentimes they will get on the internet and figure it out and bring it to me. Or they'll bring several different possible answers to their questions and bring them to me for clarification. They also want take and justice. In the fire service, there is a long-standing rift between the old guard and the new. One former recruit was incorrectly disciplined for something he did not do, and it was proven as such. Unfortunately for him, his company officer and battalion officer were part of that old guard. Each emphatically urged him to take the discipline, a formal write-up, plus exclusion from the pertaining activity for 12 months, to not rock the boat since you're new. Quote, obviously he didn't. He fought it and won. But the old guard slandered his name and dismissed him as one of those disrespectful, self-centered millennials. Quote, thankfully that mentality seems to be here to stay, as I see it more and more with every recruit class that comes through. The old ways of blatant injustice mislabeled as how we did it, or respect, are disappearing. That's all for this video. Remember to smash that like button. Leave a comment telling me your favorite answer from today. Subscribe for more awesome content. Be sure you never miss an upload by hitting that little bell. Bye.